Good morning, students. Students, today we will start with a new chapter in history. The name of the chapter is Changing Life Part 2. So, in this chapter, we shall look at the changes that have taken place in the fields of language, sports, theatre, and films, newspaper, and television. Now, as I told you in the previous lessons, I had already told you that our country is diverse, that is in languages, in religion. Okay, so the first point we will learn is about language. So what all types of languages are there in India that are spoken? Hindi, Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, Kashmiri, Malayalam, Marathi, Odia, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali, and Sindhi are the official languages in India. These Indian languages also have dialects. Now, what is dialects? For example, in Marathi, when we speak Marathi, there are different ways of speaking Marathi. So, that is called dialects. But their number is now on the decline. And slowly, what is happening? People are not speaking that languages, and then you are not able to hear that language spoken. Timely steps should be taken to nurture them. Otherwise, we will lose an important part of our heritage. Nevertheless, Hindi, which has reached everywhere through the medium of Hindi movies, has served to unite the country by language. We also know that our national language is Hindi. Let's move further. That is, the English language has been gaining ground in India due to the process of globalization, which began after 1990. Now, we also know one important language that we should know is English. Why? Because English is becoming the language of livelihood. We are living with that language. Okay, as it opens the door to multiple job opportunities. Wherever you go for job, they ask you whether you know to speak English. Okay, so that's a language of livelihood. We are living with it. Moreover, Indians are at forefront in learning English. However, it is necessary to ensure that this process does not endanger the very existence of regional language. That means we are speaking English, but we should not forget our regional language that we have. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the next point, that is sports. During the pre independent period, only a few selected games were known to people in general. Now, previously in the ancient times, there were only certain games which people knew. Okay? Some sportsmen changed the situation. This enhanced the status of both the sports and the sportsperson. For example, Geet Shetty achieved global excellence in snooker, a variation of billard. Snooker is that pool which we play. He won the national championship of billiards for teenager at the age of 15. Later, he went on to win national and international championships. So first we do the local, then we go to national championship. Then when we do good in that, then we go to the international championship. Okay, so these are the championships. At the global level, he won the amateur billiards competition thrice and the professional one 5 times. His success made the game popular and newspapers began to report news about billiards. Thus, he made a new field available to rising sportsperson in India. So first, people did not know about this game snooker, but then suddenly what happened? This game was it was written in the newspaper, so by that people got knowledge about this game. It was in 1983 that the Indian team won the World Cup for cricket. We all know that the first World Cup won by India was in the year 1983 under the captainship of Kapil Dev. It was a historic victory. Cricket instantly won great popularity across the country. So nowadays we see that cricket is played every time, in every month we see there are certain tournaments held. We also know about the IPL. So this is a game, cricket, which has become familiar everywhere. In the same year, Sunil Gavaskar broke the earlier record of maximum centuries in Test cricket. In 1985, India won the Benson and Higday's World Championship of Cricket. As a result, cricket came to be played in all states to a lesser or greater extent, but at the cost of indigenous Indian games. It means India made their own games. A few movies were also produced around the theme of cricket. We know that there are certain movies also made on cricket, like MS Dhoni. There are certain other movies also. Live telecast of the full 5 days or 1 day of the matches also became available. Now in cricket we know there are 5 day matches, that is called test match, and we have 1 day match. So that also was telecasted on TV live. India has been participating in Asiad and Olympic Games. Now we all know Olympic Games, right? That's at a very high level. And recently we also seen in the last year's Olympic Games, Neeraj Chopra, who won a gold medal for India. Okay. So at the Olympics of year 2000, Karnam Maleshwari won a medal for weightlifting. She was the first woman to win a medal at the Olympics. India's representation begins to rise in various games such as hockey, badminton, tennis, swimming, weightlifting, and archery. So then slowly what happened? India started participating in different games and also started winning medals in that games at the Olympic level. Next we'll move on to is theatre and films. Theatre and films are important aspects of Indian life. Early, plays were very long, sometimes running through an entire night. So earlier there were plays which were very long, which people used to get bored to watch. It used to go on for the whole night. Now the form, technique, duration of plays have all changed. So now what happened? Things are changing. People from different walks of life take parts in the dramas, but musicals have now declined in importance and political and social subject. Then we also know that the age of black and white movies have been succeeded by the age of colored movies. We had black and white movies previously, now it has changed to colored movies. In the field of entertainment, the place of Hindi movie is incomparable. We see now when a movie gets released, it gets released all over. Not only all over India, but as well as in foreign countries. So, film shooting locates have moved abroad. So, there are certain scenes also which are taken from abroad. So, viewers can now see many different places in foreign countries. Movies in foreign languages are now translated so that they will also understand the movie. During the screening of English movies, a short Hindi translation now appears on the screen as subtitles. Then we also know about movies which were 3 to 4 hours long movies. Okay, and nowadays when you look, it is only for 1 or 1.5 hour movies. So that thing has changed. Then we also know that the concept of one screen and one cinema hall has given way to multiplexes. The days now you might be knowing or not, I don't know. The days of a movie running for 100 weeks. So first one movie when it used to get released, it used to go on 100 weeks in only one cinema hall. But nowadays we see it running in thousands of cinema halls, right, in India and simultaneously. So this development has changed the economic of movies. So there are certain changes which have happened. Okay. Next we'll move on to the next point, that is newspapers. The changing lifestyle has had its effects on newspaper and other mass media that in turn have influenced individual as well as community life. During early post-independence period, newspapers have multiple objectives. Now when we open the newspaper, we see different columns. So that's what they're saying. It has multiple objectives. We get to read news related to different topics. So in this period, the newspapers were expected to not only give the news of daily events, but also give impetus to industry and commerce by printing advertisements. So we also have advertisement. Okay, there is if you want a job, there are job advertisement also related to different topics. So earlier newspapers were black and white, but with the changing times, color printing became common. Earlier, newspapers were thought to be the mouthpiece of the taluka or district. Now they have to face tough competition from the state level newspaper chains. But on the whole, newspapers are now becoming more active. We have seen, we also have online newspapers. So whenever we pass, sometimes you also see when we pass by the road, there are places also where there are newspaper kept and you can sit and read over them. So they are becoming more active. Their scope has enlarged to including raising funds for drought affecting and flood affected people. Hence, material students from lower income groups go to higher education and on organizing or sponsoring cultural programs. Okay, now last we learn about television. So, television came to India during the post independence period. Earlier, it was black and white, we know that. Now it is colored. Earlier, it was limited to some selected programs and fixed time slots. So, earlier, it had time slots. At this time, only you could see that serial. But nowadays, we have so many channels. We can watch whatever we want to. We can even save it. We can save that program or serial and watch it later. But before, it was not like that. Gradually, its scope was enlarged to include educational programs, news bulletins, detailing report of the tours of the presidents and the prime minister. So, during the telecast of Ramayana and Mahabharat, the majority of the people used to sit glued to the television set. Means they used to not shift. Is to sit over there and watch. These serials proved the popularity of this medium. Then in 1991, CNN channel showed to the entire world a live visual reporting of the Iraq war. At this stage, the world of Indian news channels changed completely. Then we know about the CNN news channel also. So that came in the year 1991. Then in 1998 we had the star channels, like we have Star Plus, Star Sports. Okay, so all that channels slowly started coming. A private media house entered India, and the uninteresting, monotonous and propagandist new telecast of the earlier period underwent a change. The language, the technique of presentation, studios equipped with the latest technology, and the use of OB, that is outdoor broadcasting. Then there was vans have expanded the scope of Indian TV channels still further and brought in transparency and variety. Nowadays we have so many varieties in channel. For example, if you take sports, in Star we have so many Star Sports 1, 2, 3. So that is what we have, so much variety now in watching. Okay. Now every nook and corner of the country is connected. This has had a great impact on politics. In short, the whole country started changing. Okay, in every field we'll see that there are things which are changing. So far we have studied the history of modern India. Next year we will study how to make use of this subject in the practical world. Okay, we shall see how history can be a part of daily life and not just a thing of the past. Okay, so here we end with this chapter. We will learn the next chapter in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.